Wasn't that the bus?
Budget wise. I'm sorry, okay, sorry. Good afternoon. This is a meeting of this Ways and Means Subcommittee. I would like to start by saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members of the committee are myself, John Kingston, member Anthony Caggiano. I believe Stacy Rizzo is absent unless she's on Zoom.
She's not on Zoom.
Okay, Stacy Rizzo is absent. The mayor has a previous commitment and could not make it today. So in attendance, and Ms. Monterosso could not make it as well, due to the birth of her son. Which I will congratulate for her from now, her and her husband. In attendance on the committee is Ms. Milbury Ellis and Mr. Fred Sinella. I'm gonna open the meeting by letting Anthony Caggiano speak. Oh.
Let me start off in saying, to be where we are right now took a lot of work, and I understand that for both of us. And knowing, in other regional committees and seeing what the other school committees are, we're in a lot better shape, than a lot of other schools. And that's an attestament to both of you, as far as having 10 million in reserve and carrying over 5 million. Now, I know next year, we're gonna be probably having a different type of conversation, because we're gonna be having salary increases of 4%. Our carryover won't be at 5 million, it will be a lot less. So that's why, even though we are where we are, I was looking to do a couple of modifications, and I wanted to bring in from committee, and if we get a second, then have a discussion. One of the first things is, I know we talked about reducing the health aides totally, but I was thinking about adding 4. And then canceling out the historical justice district. And I was wondering, I need a second, and then maybe we could have a discussion.
Second.
Okay. Does anybody want to comment on what you feel about that? No, I don't.
That's your meeting, this is.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I'm putting this open because it's gonna go ahead of the committee also.
Ms. Monterosso sent me a letter which I'd like to read into the record. Dear members of the Ways and Means Subcommittee and fellow members of the committee, as you all continue the conversation about the budget, I implore that you please continue to advocate and work to fund the civics coach position and at least 2 to 3 health aides or health tech. It says aides. I find it fundamental that we have at least one instructional coach per subject, and we cannot leave our entire civics department, especially during these times, without the crucial support they need. We also have heard from our nurses and nurse aides how crucial the aides are to helping keep our students safe and healthy. It'll be up to the district on what nurse aides stay and where we need them the least, but to work to keep some of them. No other department or personnel category has 100% elimination like our nurse aides do, and we cannot function without them. If we were to keep 2 or 3 nurse aides and a civics coach, we still wouldn't even tap into 2 million of our reserves, and that to me is reassuring. I ask that you all please take into account the public comment we have received, the countless calls and emails from teachers and students that at least I've received, Ms. Monterosso, asking we fund these positions. I thank Chairman Kingston for the opportunity to share my thoughts in writing. Sorry, I can't be there in person. Respectfully, Vice Chair, Jacqueline Monterosso.
Was she clear about if she wanted to put the STEM coach back into? Or just this, because I thought she said at least one in every subject area?
I just read what she had. I didn't.
Oh,
know what
okay,
conversation was. She sent me the email and I said I would read it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. Sorry. Any more comments?
No comments, or we
You vote on it? Opportunity to speak? I would like to, I would make a motion and I'll second it and then we'll vote. Okay, motion to keep for,
Roll call.
well, we'll make a motion and I'll.
I made a motion, you said.
I said, all right, motion to keep, motion to retain for health techs, motion to retain for health techs.
And
I think that what you would be talking about is if you're gonna make the recommendation to
We're gonna
the,
make the record, what my hope to do today is,
Yeah.
and I was hoping that there'd be three of us, because in case we don't agree, that could be an issue, but I can't help that. What I was hoping to do is make a recommendation to the full committee for next week's vote. Unfortunately, I don't know, with just two of us, that may be problematic on certain things, I'm not sure, but we'll do our best.
I don't think it would
No,
be,
you have a quorum.
quorum. It's.
Right, no, I
right,
meant
Yeah,
if Anthony wants to do something that I don't, we wouldn't have a.
Right,
we
right,
wouldn't
right.
have
I
a
see what you're
consensus to
saying.
go
Yeah.
forward. That's my problem.
it seems like you're in agreement, so.
Well, yeah. Well, and also, and the second motion was to, the district-wide restorative justice coach to, eliminate that position. I agree,
What are the grounds for that?
just to save some money. I don't wanna cut anything, I don't think anyone does, but at the same time, we have.
I just think we have enough support with the historical justice and, psychologists and everything that I think we can the leader and see where we are. I'm not sure how the rest of these go.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the elimination of the district wide coach.
Can you point to where you're seeing that position in version 4? What page is it that you see that position?
I didn't write the page down,
I just know that was, we were
Do
keeping
you know
that.
where it is?
why isn't it in?
Do you know where it is? No.
No,
It's already been cut.
is it an exclusive high school position?
No, it's
No,
a district
it's a
wide.
district wide.
I didn't put page and number for the budget, I apologize if that's gonna be a problem, but I just looked at the position, it was on a list that you were provided with. And I
It
assumed
wasn't on the list that I suggested.
No, no,
cut.
no, it was on a list, I asked for a list of coaches and that was on.
Oh, right, yes, yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was in this budget and
Yeah.
I could probably find it, but it's 150 pages, so it might take me a few minutes, but I'm sure it's still in. I don't think anyone took it out. Judy's got a question of this.
Well, on page 65, it lists out the district-wide coaching position. So coming into this version of the budget. Well, actually,
No, this is 65 doesn't have,
I
65.
mean, the position might be in a grant. It might not be district funded.
I wasn't aware of that. I went off the list of coaches that you provided, and then I don't think it's anything about that position being on grant. Which would be,
I think I was asked to provide a list of all the coaches, which I
right,
did.
but if someone was not in the budget, I didn't go looking to make sure everybody was in the budget, I assumed they were. Right, if that's on a grant, that's fine. I wasn't aware of that.
I only have the PDF version, so I can't scan, but leave it up there. Yep.
You have it? That might, I can't tell, that might be the teacher.
Did you get a chance to read the email I sent today? Any?
I did.
No, I don't. What's
I did.
it was about this? Budget?
Yeah, it was in a sense.
I read it.
Well, can we move on
Matt's,
while Matt's looking for that, John?
Yeah.
Because I don't wanna miss any of this meeting and.
I understand, I just, well, I don't, but I guess the problem is the other positions I don't have, I'm not sure. what
can I
that is.
still get,
I don't
can I
need to.
get more clarity on, the reason, the rationale behind cutting the RJ coach? There's one district wide, so what is the purpose of cutting that?
So,
I think we just-
save money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to offset from one cost to the other. And I just think that would probably be, with the support that we have, I figure that probably be the less impact.
I don't understand how you're coming to that conclusion though.
We've had this program for we have regular historical justice, we have district, correct?
We have, a teacher in each of the middle schools and the high school who teaches classes with kids on restorative practice so that they can do peer work. In addition to that, we have a single restorative practices coach in the district.
That you would to reviews all that, correct?
No,
Yes, she is.
who works with teachers on how to engage in their classes with restorative practices. They're entirely different.
And how long has this program been going on for?
12 years.
No,
I mean, restorative justice in general.
oh, yes, right, yeah, since,
A little bit.
was it during COVID that we had, Linda?
No names.
Oh, right, sorry,
No, obviously, I might do it myself, but I don't want to.
The position is in the budget.
One page.
If I may,
Just.
Yeah.
Diane, I think what's happened is that we went back after you made those suggestions, and I know I looked through here and made some suggestions to the Ways and Means, and I know they had been in discussions as well, and I'm sure other of members also did, so at the end of the day, school committee is responsible for this budget.
I know, I know, but
I'm not stepping on your toes, I'm just saying that you went through it the first 2 times. We're going through it the third time, and it's really just to see how can we get this budget down more? I mean, and really just doing our job. I feel like we're tasked with doing this, and
I agree.
we should be doing this.
I just want you to value the opinions of the people who are leading the district, including the principals, who have said, we cannot live without the restorative justice coach. She does amazing work for us, and our schools will be very different without her. And who have also said, what we can live without is the civics coach. Not that we don't want to have them. No one is saying that they don't want these.
No, and I agree, and I
We
don't
want
think,
all the positions, but what they're saying is our schools will be harmed without the restorative practices coach. We can manage without the civics coach. And I feel like that's being dismissed by the committee because of things they're hearing from people who choose to reach out to the committee.
I wouldn't say that that's necessarily true. I would say that any emails I've received, I always welcome that information and that
Yeah, right.
insight and make that as part of the consideration. For me, it was looking at the budget and looking at those closest to students and working out, and I'm not imposing my views over the principals. We're taking that into account. And in fact, I think that we're all in agreement on pretty much most of these cuts that have been made. So I think that shows that we're not trying to, impose our opinion over theirs. However, at the end of the day, we are tasked with the job to do, and it may not be 100% in alignment with what your recommendations are.
Agreed.
And that's, I think, where we are. So I just wanted to add that. I'm not,
No,
it's
and
not-
I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that we're being clear about
Yeah.
what's happening
happening.
and what the rationale is.
Mm.
So,
Can you see if Stacy's is good trying to get on Zoom? She just texted.
there's nobody in the Zoom room.
Think she's just gonna watch.
Why don't you just call her on your cell phone? She's the third member, and have her just,
I just sent a chat.
have her on speaker, so that way she could hear the conversation and chime in.
She sent a message.
She said she's on YouTube.
She's watching.
Let me see if I can send her the link.
And if I could add, this is not easy at all. It's not like just going through these documents and just pulling numbers out and saying, get rid of this one, get rid of this one at all. I mean, it's a matter of trying to be fiscally responsible and have some foresight. And to say at the end of the day that, you know, we did what we felt was best, at least for me. Whether they accept and adopt any of the recommendations that I made,
Also,
at
too,
least I've done what I feel I've been tasked to do in this position.
and also too, if we doesn't mean. We don't cut them now, there's chances that we are gonna be cutting them. Don't
Next,
know what we're gonna be next year.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, even though if we keep. Say if the committee decides to keep the health aides, doesn't mean next year. It's gonna be tough, you know, could be different, we don't know, because, like I said. I'm concerned with, you know, enrollment decline. And our expenses going up.
I sent, oh, did Stacy email you or
Did I
text you?
text her? Can you
I
just
just-
call her? Just get on the phone?
I texted her and sent her the
She
Zoom
said
link.
to me she's watching it on YouTube.
Just get her on the phone, just call her, and that way she's on speaker. And she can partake. It's best to have all three members, if you can, of the committee.
I know, I'm sure she agrees with whatever we discussed. Were there any other recommendations?
Yes.
Yeah, I just was thinking of the other phone, and then the phone.
The communications director.
Wow.
I realize it's good to have one, the information is important, but I just can't, if we're gonna have larger class size and other issues. Going forward, I can't,
No, I tried.
so I can't, that's my suggestion, to speak on that, so.
I understand your position and kind of agree with the position if we're cutting teachers. And we're cutting certain coaches and so on. We can't justify this, honestly justify it. Saying keep communications, but having teachers go, if there's any layoffs and so on.
So, motion to cut the communications position.
You didn't do the
Oh,
first, you didn't do the motion yet. Did you guys finish the motion for the first two? I don't think so.
I made a motion, he seconded. For the historical justice and the health aides.
Oh, okay, I didn't, sorry. Just want to make sure.
so motion to cut the communications position.
I'll second it.
Okay. Next is the grading coach.
Oh, my God.
Again, it's I respect and value
don't.
everyone's,
You
yes, I
clearly
do,
don't.
I do,
No, you don't.
but at the same time,
Let's not
we
pretend.
have decisions to make, so.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make,
Mhm.
and I'm not changing my mind, so.
Alright.
And the last one, there's some disagreement on the last one, so that could be a problem to the committee. I would like to cut the high school operations, person. But Mrs. Pagano, I believe you want to discuss.
I'm just saying, if you're looking to cut one. Then we have to look at all. And I think that's where we might be splitting on it.
No, I do a consensus.
Hmm?
There are four total, there are four, say right?
There's three at the middle schools. My angst on the middle schools is, I still feel, and I agreed with you in the fall or spring, whenever it was discussed, that they were needed. So I would like to keep them. I think it's important. I think we have a lot of, just kids are having a lot of issues at that age, just through their age. That's been going on for years before COVID. So I think it's a good thing. But I think I'm in the minority on that. Anyway. And as far as the one at the high school,
Yeah. No.
at least I've heard from a lot of parents that there's too many administrators. I hear that every day. And I heard it during this budget process. So, we really can't cut principals and assistants at the buildings, at the other buildings. That's about, you know, that's a newly created position.
But you know that has zero impact on the budget because their contract stipulates that they receive their stipend,
No, no.
their administrative.
On
stipend.
the high school one, it would just be
How so?
that person wasn't a teacher.
It doesn't matter. They're a member of the Revere Administrators Association,
Right, but
and
if we-
therefore they go back into the RTA. They just place somebody else with a similar license and they keep their stipend for 2 years.
I wasn't aware of that for the middle high school one. I was aware, excuse me, for the high school position. I thought they had to be a teacher in order to go back to the teaching ranks.
No,
They didn't have to come from the teaching ranks to go back, okay. And the middle school positions, I agree with you, and I understand that. And I think I've said, I understand it. And I've said it, but it is what it is, so.
Mr. Chairman, I would check on if they're not a teacher, hired as a teacher, how can they go back to a position?
I didn't think they could, and that may be my error, I didn't do this.
They want to get a legal ruling.
I don't do I wasn't involved because of my family relationships, I wasn't involved in teacher contract, and I don't think I've ever really read it. So I read it fully, but I wasn't aware that someone could go back that was never a teacher in the system. I'm not sure on that.
Danielle's gonna go check.
Yeah, no, and I may be
contract
wrong on that, and
get the
I'll
clear
apologize
language.
for my ignorance, but that's not
What
what,
is that gonna change your position?
no,
But even if that be the case,
It's not gonna.
somewhere along the line with the bumping and everything else, somebody's gonna be eliminated. I mean, if they're going back into a position. I mean,
Teacher will- yeah,
there's not
it'll be
enough
a teacher.
vacancies.
correct. Well, they may be, we don't know, I mean, that all hasn't played out yet. And that's all I have as far as cuts, on my end. As far as retaining, the 4 health techs we've talked about. The second one I was interested in retaining was the alternative PE. I think that's a vulnerable population. I care very deeply about students with special needs. I think it's necessary. And while I respect the email that you sent today about, you know, being influenced by emails and things like that, I don't think that's where I get my information for the most part.
You literally just said to keep everything that people emailed you about and get rid of other things.
You know,
And the email I sent, Aisha, I know you didn't get to read it. I shared with everybody that,
no,
that others had approached me and said, should I be writing a letter to the school committee? Because I know these other people are. And we're sitting here today in a meeting and the people who wrote you and said, please don't get rid of my job, you're recommending that they stay.
that email's not affecting my decision at all,
Okay.
not at all. Not at all. That doesn't move that for the most part doesn't move my needle, it does not, and especially in this case, no. I think it's an important position, I think kids with special needs need all the help and guidance and
Is the
assistance
STEM
they can
coach
get.
not important? Because no one's recommending that we replace the STEM coach.
I didn't. I don't, the reason for my cuts and I want to keep what I retain, and the reason I did the cuts was to come up with the money to bring these people back. So to bring back the 4 health techs, the alternative, well, let's finish on the alternative, physical education, do you have anything to say?
No, as far as that goes, I mean, I would say I would like to keep that adapting as far as the physical, you know. Because they're assisting kids in the pools and stuff, and I think is that true? I mean, as far as what's exactly on your PE on, these are special needs kids, correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
they
Yeah.
were special needs students.
And as far as for like in the pools and something, what is it?
So, what they do is they work with, in particular, our special needs kids, but also some of the early childhood classes. And so they push into the PE class with the other PE teacher. And work with those kids, and I think that, Pauline explained in her email to you. That a lot of what she does is help kids learn how to do, self-regulation and, turn and talks, things like that. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what she outlined, but I think it was probably an accurate description. What the principal said when I talked to them about it yesterday, was that a lot of that are things that their OTs and PTs are working with the kids on as well. And again, it's a position that they appreciate, but it's a position they feel they can much more easily live without than some of the other positions that they've requested we maintain.
John, through you, do the OT and the other position that you,
Physical
the
therapy.
physical therapist, do they, work with special needs kids as well?
Oh, yeah, oh, exclusively.
Okay, and these, okay.
Oh, I thought you had something to say, Michelle.
No, I was,
Oh, I apologize. So motions to, bring back the alternative physical education position. So second and approved.
Stacy Rizzo has her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, is she just doing Zoom? I didn't, wasn't.
They can't see you, Stacy, if you can unmute.
or him.
Yeah, first and foremost, I am truly sorry. Can you just tell me where you're at right now?
Yeah, I'll do a little recap. We did, I'll say cuts first. So restorative justice citywide, communications, the grading coach, and we were discussing the high school operations person. Dr. Kelly said, I wasn't aware of this, Dr. Kelly said that, the operations person could go back as a teaching role, but she was never a teacher in the district, so I wasn't sure if that was correct. I don't have the contract in front of me. And then, we
I
were,
can read that to you. if
I
it- is that-
believe you, I'm not saying you're wrong, I just didn't know.
I mean, you know what, if she's saying that she wasn't, I mean, I'm not going to second guess her. She has
I'm not-
nothing to
I wasn't
lose
either.
by saying
I said
one
what-
way or the other.
I wasn't second guessing her, I said I wasn't aware of that. I
Okay.
wasn't
I'll
aware.
just read it to you, in the event that any administrative position is eliminated because of a reduction in force, administrators will have the following rights. One, the right to be reduced from his or her administrative position based upon his or her seniority within that administrative position. Number two, the right to bump laterally or downward into another administrative position to which he or she is licensed. Number three, the right to bump back into the teacher's bargaining unit as long as the bump back would not result in the layoff of a tenured teacher covered by agreement with the committee and the Riviera Teachers Association. The administrator who bumps back in accordance with the preceding sentence will have his or her seniority computed as the total years, months of his or her service in that position covered by the agreement. The right to be recalled to his administrative position, except.
Okay, the key word there is back into, she was never in it.
That's my point, yeah. That's why I wasn't aware of that.
But that's an RTA issue, it's not really an issue of us.
No, it's us. She's interpreting it one way, and we're
Right.
interpreting the other way. The RTA should red flag it because it's gonna bump one of their members.
Right, but the meeting today is talking about,
No, I'm just saying, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to,
I think we're getting off subject a little bit, just like,
Yeah, my question is it just the high school operation at the CODA that is not able to go back into a classroom?
Yes, that was my contention, but I didn't say I was right. I didn't think they could because they never taught here. We hadn't finished, we started, but did not finish the discussion on, the middle school. I'm gonna call it operations positions. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, the
Um,
CODAs.
So, Mr. Caggiano was going to discuss that. So would you like us to revote the positions and include you? Or,
Well, can you let me, which one did you do first?
we did restorative justice district-wide first.
Can, I'm,
just tell
I'm,
us.
I'm going to say at this point, it is a luxury. I'm going to, we've been doing it for a while. I mean, we go back to the day of Michael Bonanno doing it 12 years ago. I hope our educators, and I know our educators are good enough that they can mentor each other. That would be my hope, and so I would say yes.
All right, so please, are you unanimous on that one? The
I mean-
communications, oh, sorry, I didn't know, I thought you were done.
No,
Sorry.
I'm sorry because I'm late. You don't have to go by my vote. If you have votes, you have votes.
Right, it's just easier I think it's just easier and that way we're all in unison, you know, that's how I feel. If you don't mind, it'll only take another couple of minutes.
Oh.
Hopefully. The next one was the communications director.
Another one that I have advocated for and advocated for. And again, it can't be about individual people. It has to be about a position and what we may have to do. So as of right now, unless money comes in, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. The next one was the grading coach.
I am gonna say yes. I have
Okay.
not, from administrators to, well, I shouldn't say administrators, like there were many, only a few. For other educators, I'm not even sure, no, I'd say, is that, is it supposed to be a yes or no to cut?
Yes.
Okay,
That's what I was-
yes.
Okay.
And does this position first, does this position go back to another job?
Teacher, as far as I would be aware.
Well, yeah, my fingers would be crossed that no one would be losing jobs. Positions are one thing, jobs
The
are another.
operating structure of the high school, or?
Pardon
Well, I
me?
don't know the contract. I don't know the contract.
And the
Diane, would
communications,
that person be going back into a job? I don't know who does the job.
yes, it's a teacher,
So they would go back into a position.
yeah, but the communications director would not. And the operations director at the high school would not, if John's right, that they don't get the right to bump back.
I don't mean that I'm right. I don't know, I don't know what it is. I just assumed because they weren't a teacher that they would go back.
Well, but if they didn't, then they would be cut, right?
Right.
So we can't say on one hand, we don't wanna cut any people. We wanna cut positions and then cut positions that people are in, that
trying to-
there's no place for them to go. That's cutting people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I think, here's the thing too. You have to look at, a name shouldn't be next to any of this.
I didn't say any names.
What did she say?
She said no names. I don't think we've mentioned a name as far as I know.
No, I'm not saying that. Like, we can't be looking at like the name and the person. Like, we're supposed to
But-
just be thinking of
Well, it's only one
this.
position.
Everyone knows exactly who you're talking about.
It's hard.
Well,
when it's
I
only one
don't know
position.
who the civics coach is, so I guess I'm a dummy.
The communications
Oh,
director?
communications, yes, but these other ones I don't.
All right, so would you agree on the high school operations, Mr. Rizzo?
How long have they been there?
I'm sorry.
This is their second year.
How long?
John, this is the time to mention
I-
that these.
I can't-
Yeah, no.
I think,
Oh, first year.
Stacy, wait a minute.
Casey,
Yeah.
That's why I said.
we got the
Yeah,
operations.
yeah, just the one, right?
Well, this is where we're in the disagreement.
Right, but you can, if you wanted to do something else, we could do that at the next step.
I know, but just. We are at one and basically
All right, go
one,
ahead.
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to silence you, I'm just trying to
No,
make it clear.
on the operations. John's looking to cut one, and I'm saying if you cut one, then you cut them all, and what was?
yeah,
what's
yeah,
your-
have you do one and not all? I mean, each one, I'm sure.
I
Is
was
just
taking them
as,
I was taking them one at a time, sorry.
well,
It's one's high school, one's middle.
A position. No.
One high school, one's
Yeah.
not.
So the middle
I think-
school ones would go back into their jobs and keep their differential. So it would literally save nothing.
I'm aware of that.
Okay,
I'm aware of that.
okay.
I'm aware.
That's why, so could we, could we,
And when things go downhill at the middle schools, remember it was the decision made.
okay.
And the high school.
Can we have a decision on the high school operations first?
I,
Yes, on those,
I
Mr.
want
Rizzo?
it as a group and
Yeah.
not individual people.
Oh,
I
I wanted,
mean-
I would like to vote it as individual, that's what I'm asking.
You want to do 4 separate votes?
No, two,
He wants to break it up between.
I wanna break it up.
I make a motion to do it as a whole.
Is there a second?
Second, Anthony.
You
Okay.
can't second Fred.
I didn't know, I said Anthony.
Second,
So motion to the, so the motion's to get rid of the four of them? Four operations positions, is that you? Yeah,
Has it been
motion?
first and second?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, Anthony just seconded it, yes.
Does anyone want to have a discussion on it?
I wanted to separate them because I feel we should keep the middle school ones. again, the high school, I know it may be needed, but a lot of things are needed and wanted, but unfortunately, to make to retain what I would like to see retained. We have to make some cuts on the other side to kind of, to balance the money part of it. So, that's why I thought the high school operations, cause people on the street, there's too many administrators. I hear that every day, and I don't know if
What?
anyone else.
Street have
Yeah, what?
doctorates in education? I'm just curious.
It's what, I don't know if the other members will agree, but it's what I hear almost every day.
What are you hearing? I'm sorry, I can't
So
hear
we have too
you.
many administrators, whether it's true or not, that's what I hear on the street from people.
Well,
And
people are always going to say that.
Mhm.
And you know, whether you look at it as a specific name or their title, I think that's when people start looking at administration being too heavy. Instead of the body of work that they're supposed to be doing.
Okay. So I go back to, I'd like to take them separately as two votes, if that would be okay.
I thought
There's a
we
motion
had,
made.
Well, you had a motion, all right, motion to, all right.
There's already been a
motion.
No,
vote.
all right, substitute motion to take two votes instead of one for the operations positions between the middle and the high school, to separate them into two. That's my substitute motion. Is there a second?
Move the previous question.
Yes. So vote on the 4 positions, I guess. Ms. Rizzo? Hello?
yeah, I'm here. It's going in and
Oh.
out. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So the
Um,
motion on the floor is for the 4 positions.
I'm gonna say yes,
Yes.
and hope
Vote
money
no.
comes in.
I'll vote no.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry. I know we
Sure.
went by discussion. Diane, if there is money that comes in from the state, is it too late to relook at some of these positions?
Yes, it's too late, and we have to move forward after this meeting today.
I just want the committee to understand, and the high school one may also be a union issue with, in a, contractual issue that we're gonna have to pay for. And we'll definitely have to pay for the 3 middle ones. So in my opinion, the high school one may or may not be, but we're definitely gonna pay, the contractual, obligation for the 3 middle persons that we're putting back. I just wanna make sure everyone knows that.
And I also want to reiterate that these are positions that the principals said they could not live without.
I
So
agree.
there is gonna be fallout from that as well.
I totally understand.
For a point of information, when you made reference, top heavy on administration, the high school's got eight, counting principal, deputy principal, 5 assistants, this coordinator and everything else, so you're not too far off, Diane. I mean, to live with and to live without. I mean, these are things that, you know, and I have to give you.
But Fred, this is the same high school that at the beginning of the year, everybody was up in arms that it wasn't functioning well. And we created a position to try to help quell that and create positions where people could monitor the kids both academically and
But
behaviorally.
that's when the money was available, Diane.
And now the RJ coach is gone. And now you wanna get rid of the operations person. And you're dismantling everything that we've just put in place in a year to try to help this school.
No one's begrudging what you've done. It's what has to be done now. Don't break it down to personal. I'm prejudiced because I voted against those 3 jobs. I thought that was poor judgment at the beginning of the year to spend that kind of money from the reserve. You chose to do it. The vote was made. We're all a party to it. We're just trying to go to the next level now.
I also delivered a balanced budget last week.
I'm not,
No, I know.
I don't think,
What we're also looking for is down the line. I mean, I've had another conversation, we've had other conversations. I'm looking at it as declining enrollment, declining the state aid next year. And I'm looking at worse than what we are. And we wouldn't be in this good a position if it wasn't for the way you guys handle the money. There's no doubt about that.
Right, and yet there's no trust
Absolutely.
in what we're recommending.
It's not a point of trust.
It
You
is.
know, I don't look at it as trust. I look at it as that things have changed a little because the money situation has changed. We're not in that bad a shape because of you guys. But at the same time too is these are tough decisions and they're not easy decisions. And because people are calling for other things. I mean, I'm getting emails on other things and I haven't even brought those up. And I just think I think we might even have to use our district reserves even more next year. I'm looking to try to hold them for 4 or 5 years, and I know you are too, in math. And I don't see that next year. I mean,
But yet you wanna keep a civics coach, and you wanna keep an adaptive PE teacher. That all of the principals have articulated, these are positions that we can do without. And that's being
when
ignored.
it comes into special needs and everything, yes, I mean, that's a delicate thing. And God forbid someone gets hurt. You know, anything like that, but at the same time too is next year. My position might be completely the opposite. You know, so I think our position is basically what's going on with the money and as well as taking what you guys have to say into account.
Mr. Chairman, move the previous question.
So, we had a vote, it was 2 to 1, to eliminate the 4 operations.
That'll be presented to the full committee.
Yep, that's a full committee. So I'm just gonna recap, so I wanna make sure that we did all the votes, and I apologize, it's hard to pay
Can I-
attention where I'm saying, yeah,
Can-
go ahead, Mr.
Can I ask, did you already speak about adaptive PE?
No, I was gonna, we did, yes, somewhat.
Okay.
I brought it up to retain. My retention list, I know you, I don't know if you were here or not here, so I'm just gonna recap. The retention list, as far as I was concerned, was the 4 health techs, the alternative PE and the civics position. Just to remind the members, I did read into the record, Ms. Monteroso's message. She was also for the civics position
Only health aides.
and the health aides.
Gonna get hot here.
Yeah, as far as the health aides, I think I have talked about it with a couple of people individually, and I could see having 4 at 6 hours. They used to work 8 hours. Am I right, Diane? When COVID came, so that they could test staff.
They worked a regular school day. Same as
Okay,
teachers.
so I could see maybe 4 at 6 hours, or I can see 6 of them at 3.55. So that, they still all keep jobs. But I would also like to know if Diane has spoken to them and if anyone had a desire to go somewhere else.
Well, it started with 6, so if we kept 4, the one decided to go somewhere else, so only 1 would be gone. Or reassigned if possible. If someone can correct me, I don't mind the correction, so, we voted on the cuts, I would say. I'm not 100% sure that we voted on all the, if we have, I apologize. The health techs, the alternative PE and the civics. Motion for the 4 health techs? Okay, have we done it? I'm sorry,
I thought we did, yes.
yes, I thought we did too, but I don't wanna miss anything. I don't want to. The alternative PE,
You voted on that?
no, I don't think so. So, I'll make a motion.
Forward now.
Motion to retain, I got a little, I'll be off policy, I was trying to catch you up and I got a little off track.
Again, this is my fault.
No, no, it's not your fault, I appreciate you coming in, I think that was a help, so thank you. No one's fault, things that life happens. On the alternative PE position, I would like to retain it, my motion is to retain the alternative PE position. Second by Mr. Caggiano. Roll call, I guess.
No discussion.
Discussion.
Discussion, sorry.
So with the adaptive PE, and believe me, I worked in special ed. I want them to have everything they possibly can. But right now, I only see it as an average of 50 students throughout the district that what was going someone just came in the door. Yeah, like 50 students throughout the district that receives elementary adaptive PE in the elementary. And the rest would be pre-kindergarten or early childhood. And even those 50, I'm aging myself, but it was always the OT and the PT that work with these kids, German, PE, and other, whether it was music, whether it was art, they all jumped into the classroom to help. So I'm going to say perhaps no on, my take is where it's only 50, if it was 210 students, like the email sent out, all in elementary, I'd say, yes, we need that person. But where it's early childhood, I'm not sure. I'm definitely not sure.
Oh,
Move to this question.
yes,
Go to,
yeah, we'll vote, take a vote. Schedule, yes, and yes to me and no for you, Ms. Rizzo?
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Okay. And again, I apologize, I think we need to vote on the civics position.
I
Motion,
make a motion to save civics.
second. Any discussion? A roll call? Ms. Rizzo?
Yes.
Mr. Caggiano?
Yes.
Mr. Kingston, yes. That concludes what I have. The only thing for the record, I would just like to, for my own, I would like to retain, I would like to retain the middle school, operations folks. But, that did not prevail. I don't have anything else, except I'd like to ask Dr. Kelly about the STEM position. I don't understand. I don't believe we cut that.
That was on the first list.
The first
that I gave
First
you.
time around.
Right, but that was your recommendation, not ours.
All of these were my recommendation, and you're overturning
Well,
some
no,
of
but you
them.
just brought up the STEM one. That was the one I was confused about.
Well, I'm confused that everybody is saying we should keep the civics position,
I
and nobody
I
is
didn't know you.
fighting to keep a STEM position.
I believe the STEM position
STEM
should
coach.
stay on.
Yeah, well, no,
So-
that's what I'm getting to. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. So if, someone would like to make a motion to retain the STEM. Or I'll
Make a
it.
motion to retain STEM.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call. Roll call, Ms. Rizzo,
Yes.
Mr. Caggiano,
Let me go back to question on that.
I'll vote yes.
And did you want to consider the consulting teachers who do similar work to the coaches? Should we bring them back?
I'm gonna say,
No.
I'm gonna say no. Not that I don't value them, I do. I value everyone. This isn't easy. I haven't slept well the last few nights thinking about this. But from just how I feel and what we should do, I think we're doing the right thing. And that's all I can say. And I don't like the inference that I was swayed by emails, that I saw them and I read them. But that's not gonna really, I respect the person that sent the emails. All the people that sent the emails, but again, it can help in a decision, but it's not pushing me one way or another. Because someone sent 10 emails doesn't mean, oh, I have to support this. It doesn't work that way. Because they could have sent 10 emails on something else. I feel strongly about what I said and what we did. That's pretty much it. I do wish, and again, I'll probably say it till forever. I wish we had kept the middle school ones. I think it's important. I think that's where it's a good place to help students just because of their age. It's a tough age. But again, it was 2 to 1, so.
Well, you have to understand, this is going to the committee as a whole, so.
Right, but I don't know, but we're gonna recommend this list, so that
Right,
unless
unless
the committee decides to take it up a different way. People that. we could do.
I think an important thing to think about is that the committee is gonna vote on the budget
Next week, yeah.
on Tuesday.
So we recommended, I just want to review so there's no confusion. We recommend cutting the restorative justice district-wide coach, the communications director, the grading coach, and all of the operations folks, the 3 middle and the high school. We're retaining the 4 health techs, the alternative PE, and the civics coach, and the STEM coach.
Dr.
Unless
Kelly,
someone-
can I ask? I don't get the local paper. Has it already been advertised for the budget?
Yes,
And so when did it go in?
this week would be the second week.
Okay.
Anything further? Motion to adjourn? Second. Do I need a roll call to adjourn, Stacy? Ms. Rizzo?
Yes, I'm on Zoom, yes.
Yeah, I thought so, that's why I asked. Roll call to adjourn the meeting. Ms. Rizzo,
Stacy, yes.
Mr. Caggiano,
Yes.
Mr. Me,